I am your host, Danielle Mims. Welcome to Think Like a Kid, the podcast that helps parents and teachers stop guessing and start teaching the way kids actually learn. After working with hundreds of kids, I can promise you this: one-size-fits-all learning doesn't work. It's time to stop making kids fit the system and start shaping learning around the child. Each week, you'll get quick wins, creative ideas, and brain-based strategies to make learning hands-on and fun again. So whether you're in the classroom, the car, or halfway through your coffee, I am so glad you're here. Let's think like a kid. Hey everyone, welcome back to Think Like a Kid. So glad you're here. Like always, it's really cool to just think of someone listening and taking the time out of their day. And if I could be helpful in any way, I'm so incredibly grateful. Today, we are going to do a parenting hack that has changed my relationship with my own children. And one I did not make up. I kind of tweaked it a little bit, but it's from a psychologist. And I was trying to look up her name. I'm going to butcher it, but I know that her name was Natalia Sirotich. I'm so sorry if you guys know this and you know her name and I totally butchered it. But anyway, she came up with a rule called the 999 rule. And I have tweaked it since. A lot of psychologists and teachers and people who know about this rule, they've kind of used the principle of it and then tweaked it to fit their needs. So my goal for you today is to really think about how you can apply this in your own life with your own kids, because anytime I talk to any of my friends who are parents, any teachers, any of you guys, everybody just wants good connections with their kids. They want their kids to be happy. They want their kids to be confident. They want what's best for their family, right? At the end of the day, that's what we all really want. And that's what I'm trying to learn myself every single day. Take what I've learned in the past, take what I'm learning now, and share it with you guys. So let's think about the most challenging part of a day with kids, right? When I think about it, I'm like, okay, anytime there's a time crunch, right? So if we're getting out the door and I can't get their shoes on and they're, they're grabbing your hair and your head and you're like, put your foot in, look, and then it's the wrong foot and you have to start over again. And it's just chaotic. It's like, did all of you eat? I have 3 kids, right? They're all close in age, 18 months apart and then 21 months apart. And it's hard to get everybody. There's really no slow starts to the morning, but it's really hard to get out the door. So that's a rushing time. Another hectic time is after pickup, school, daycare, whatever you want to say that you pick your kid up from, wherever you guys go. When you reconnect with your child after a day of being apart, that's normally hectic for parents. And then the other one is kind of the whole dinner, bath, bed, right? Those are kind of the 3 main windows. We're going to call them windows of opportunity. And how I see these windows is times where kids need to feel extra connected to their loved and trusted adult. So I do the 5-5-5 rule. I know some people do 7-7-7. I know the original one was the 9-minute rule, but I tell myself that I have to give 5 minutes. I have 3 boys, 5 minutes to each boy in the morning, 5 minutes to each boy after nap or after daycare, after school, and 5 minutes at bedtime. I try my best to have this very individualized, and what I do during these moments might look different than it would for your own kid. I have 3 boys who are very different and I do different things for them. So let's just get into it, because if you implement this, it will eliminate, I don't know the exact percentage, but a good chunk of the power struggles going on. It has for me and it has for others. So it's worth a try. Applying it to your own life. So the window 1 is the morning. So that's when they wake up. So the reason why is because of that transition period that we know of, but also this connection time with them is going to set the tone for their entire day and regulate their nervous system. Okay, so we're going to stop trying to treat first thing in the morning, I'm talking to myself here really, like a drill sergeant, and just have 5 minutes of cuddle time. How was your sleep? Do you think that you got a lot of sleep? Did you have any exciting dreams? Any kinds of questions? Any kind of I'm so glad that the sun is shining and that you're my kid. I do lots of prayers with my kids, and I just thank God for them all the time. And they love hearing prayers about them. So using that morning time to just connect, and you actually haven't seen them in 10 to 12 hours, right? So just being so excited. to wake up and see your child every single day. That's the first window. The second window is like the reunion. So anytime apart from your child. And I know some of you are homeschool moms and maybe you're with your kids 24/7. I'm with my kids. My kids go to public school when they're in kindergarten, but I'm with them before then. And so I do like nap time, right? So when they wake up from nap, this is kind of like the reunion part. But for my older kid who's in kindergarten, this is a very important time for him and me. Why? Because if your kid's going to daycare or to school for most of their day, some kids, not all, some kids will mask their behavior and their emotions and their feelings and their opinions and everything that makes them uniquely them. And they do this because we have these like social cues, right? And we know, oh, okay, that's not appropriate. If that kid's doing that, I have to hold mine in. So we have no idea, no way of really knowing how many things might, dip out of your child's bucket throughout the day. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe it's a kid who accidentally tripped them. Maybe it's someone who took their seat. Maybe a friend said, like, we could just go on and on with hypotheticals. But bottom line is that a lot of kids mask behaviors. So what happens when they come home? They let loose. They completely melt down. I've been on the receiving end of that. I know many of you have too. And we're just like, what happened? And it's not even like something specifically happened. It's that they had to keep it in all day for that long. Like there was times towards the end of the year, my son would get off the bus and I would be like, hey, so excited. He would hug me. He would just start crying, right? Like he held it in and he's a good kid. I told I'm always going on these tangents, but I told his teachers in the beginning of the year, I'm like, if he breaks the rules, I'm happy. Like he's such a rule follower. So anyway, I make it very intentional to just be present. So my oldest is very different than my second, right? My second wants cuddles and tickles and rough play and stuff like that. My first is a sensory avoider. So he might like, no, I don't want to hug, right? So I make it a point to just be fully present with him. I'm there. Humor always helps, not asking questions about his day or anything like that. Luckily, we've had really great teachers where they send pictures and updates and stuff like that. So I could always be like, oh, I saw you guys do this science experiment that looked so cool, like an observation instead of a question. Because he's probably been answering questions all day. He's probably been literally all day, like his brain has had to be on. And now it's time to decompress. So what I have found for him, which is, he's unique to your situation as well, but I'm just saying what works for us is having a healthy snack, like ready to go. And if he wants, some apples and then he wants fishy crackers, sure, go ahead. Why not? Giving him that oral input, making sure he's not hangry, and just having like a low sensory. So not like so much like music blaring or just like a more calming atmosphere so that like we can all just like rest for a minute and, we don't have to ask questions. We could just be together. And I used to just be so excited to see him. And then I used to get so sad when he was sad. But, we're still working on it. We're working on it every day. But I make it a point to not have my phone. My job is on my phone, right? So I have it a lot. And I also talk to family a lot and friends and FaceTime. And it's a lot. And I'm working on not having it as much. But this time, especially these windows, I don't have my phone anywhere. Like it doesn't go buzzing off or anything. My kids are my number one attention. And when you think about it, this is 5 minutes, like 5 minutes we can do this and give them our undivided attention. So I try to do eye contact. I try to do just this calming presence of just us being together after that long time before we do another transition or before sports or before I ask a question. It's just the comfort. And you know what? Sometimes kids just have to cry too. But finding a calming activity that works for their specific sensory profile would be a game changer. Like maybe your kid really de-escalates with coloring or painting or just having a quiet snack. We have a calm down corner, fuzzy blanket, things like that. So those are ideas to, get the gears working and see what you think for your own child. And then the last window is the bedtime window. I feel like this is the most common one that parents do hit on. The first two took me time to be like, oh yeah,
I got to do that. I got to be intentional. And you have to have this intentionality behind anything you do with your kids, or else, time gets away, everybody gets busy, yada, yada, yada. So this third window is bedtime. Like after dinner, you're putting them to bed. Maybe you're reading a book, just you two. Maybe you're doing extra snuggles. We actually do longer than 5 minutes. Like they love when my husband, Aaron, lays with them and then I do, and then we switch kids. Like we go into each other's room and just lay with them for a little bit. So the wind down time, the separation anxiety will start to peak at night because sleeping means, they're away from their family, they're away from their parents. And it's just a time for you to connect and to just let them know how much they're loved and to have a great bedtime and to have sweet dreams. And I think the whole idea of this entire rule is to realize that kids don't need their parents' undivided 24/7 attention. And I feel like a lot of parents feel guilty and, their kids are like, watch this, mommy, like demanding all this attention. And when you're trying to just give moments all day to your kid, it gets really overwhelming. It gets really stressful. And then the guilt sets in if the kid's not happy. But knowing that kids need quality, intentional, uninterrupted, one-on-one time with their trusted adult, whether that's a parent or a caregiver, that is what's going to make the difference. We don't have to do this all day long. This sounds like a lot of work, but it's 5 minutes in the morning, right? It's 5 minutes after your reunion. It's 5 minutes at bedtime. So I think it's worth trying. I think that a lot of parents are struggling, at least the ones I'm talking to, I am too, struggling with just big, big feelings and emotions. Like I'm at this point in my parenting journey where I'm like, I will try anything to help regulate my kids, regulate myself, because I'm still learning too. Anything to help them have more emotional intelligence, because we know the research, right? We know that's key to success. And I'm willing to learn anything. I'm willing to share everything I know with you. And I hope that if you have good ideas, you'll share them with me too. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. We're going to wrap this up. So I hope that you learned a little bit about your child's emotional cup, right? It needs to be filled up throughout the day. And by having these intentional windows of connection time with your child, you're just setting them up for success. So I just want you to try it. I would love for you to report back, but spending 5 minutes proactively connecting is going to save you the 45-minute meltdown battle time, because your child knows, okay, once I'm like in my pajamas, teeth brushed, I get one-on-one time with mommy and we get to talk about, what I'm talking about with my 4-year-old right now is like Dragonland, right? We like come up with Dragonlands and stuff like that. So it's a reward for them. Like they just want to feel valued and connected and seen. And by dedicating 5 minutes to these 3 windows, I really think it's going to help change your parenting game. It has certainly changed mine, and it's something that we stick to. I hope that this is something that you'll try. And again, keep thinking like a kid.
Thank you for listening to Think Like a Kid. If this episode gave you an idea, a reframe, or a little win, the best way to say thank you is to share it with a friend or leave a quick review. It helps more parents and teachers find these conversations, and honestly, it means the world to me. Until next time, friend, keep meeting kids where they're at and keep thinking like a kid.